full HD, 12 frames per second, HTML5 canvas. You hit create, you're in Adobe Animate. The first thing you do is you go up here, you use the drop down window, and you shrink it so that you can see the entire stage. Now, what you're going to do is, if your setting is indoors or outdoors, you have to decide. I've decided my setting is outdoors. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create my shape tween, okay? So I know that I want my my animation to be about maybe 10 seconds long, okay? If you slide this, you will get it to where you can see 10 seconds. So there's 10s for 10 seconds. Now I can see it. If I had it all the way out like this, the problem is I can't even see down that far. So you need to be able to see up to 10 seconds. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is I want to create an explosion. So I'm going to go to the rectangle tool, and I'm going to get a nice yellow, okay? I'm going to pull out a rectangle, okay? If I want it to be a square, all I have to do is hit the shift key and it will be a perfect square. Now, I'm going to go to the free transform tool, right click, and then I'm going to click transform envelope. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and make it look a little bit more like a star or like an explosion, okay? So I'm just pushing in the corners. Now, if I click off of the shape, it'll accept the transformation. Now, I'm going to select the shape with the select tool. Shh, guys. I'm going to select it with the selection tool. Right click, copy. Then I'm going to do right click, paste in center. So it's going to paste it in the center of the stage. And I'm going to just move it. If it has these little dots on it, almost look like Ben-Day dots, it means it's selected. I'm going to move it onto here, and while it's still selected, I'm going to go to the free transform tool, and if you notice, if I put the cursor in the corner, you can see this round loop, okay? That means I can rotate it, okay? So I'm going to just keep doing that. I'm going to right click, paste in center, move it over here, and rotate it until it looks kind of like some sort of cool explosion. I can also change the color of each shape. So if I wanted to, I could make this one in the front orange, and then I could right click, paste in center, and this one, since it's selected, I can take whatever's selected and change the color of that, so I can make it kind of a red, so I can make my explosion more interesting. I can also change the size of it. Now, it'll get warped when I change the size unless I hit the shift key. If I hit the shift key, I can change the size and it'll just shrink. And since it's selected, I can bring it over here, okay? Now I have this little shape and I want to turn it into an explosion. So what I'm going to do with this shape is I'm in frame 1, right? I'm going to select everything with my selection tool, and then I'm going to go here to free transform, and I'm going to make it itty bitty tiny, okay? Then I'm going to right click, copy, and I'm going to go out to 5 seconds, and I'm going to insert a blank keyframe, and then I'm going to do edit, paste in place. When you paste in place in Adobe Animate, it picks the same spot. So now I'm going to make this thing really, really super big. Huge. Okay? Now I'm going to go back to the beginning to that first dot. I'm going to go to this dot, right click, create shape tween. And that, my friends, is how you create an explosion. However, let's say it's boring because there's no reason to have an explosion. So I want to go here, I want to hit this plus sign, and I'm going to drag this plus sign underneath. Okay, so it's underneath, so it's hidden. And now that it's hidden underneath, I'm going to make a building. I'm going to lock and hide the top layer. Okay, I'm in the bottom layer. I'm going to go to black, and I'm going to go to my rectangle tool, and I'm going to make a building. Okay, as a matter of fact, I'm going to make a whole city. Okay? And now I'm going to give it some windows. Maybe give it a door. Okay, I want this door to be a little bit more interesting, so I'm going to change it from my rectangle tool to my oval tool, and I'm going to make a circle. This is the middle of my circle. If I hit the shift key, it'll be a circle, not an oval. If I hit the option key, it will grow out from the middle. Watch. Look. It grew out from the middle, and now I've got an arched window, an arched door, okay? So now it looks kind of neat. You know what? I think I'm going to go here, and I'm going to use my rectangle tool, and I'm going to make a rectangle up here with my yellow, and then I'm going to distort it. So I'm going to right click, transform envelope, and maybe I've decided that I want this to be black. So now I've got a more interesting looking building, okay? So now I've decided that I want the building to just be like rubble in the next, because there's an explosion. So I'm going to select everything. So maybe I'll make my stage a little smaller so I can see everything, right? I'm going to select everything. I'm going to right click, copy. I'm going to go here and I'm going to insert a blank keyframe, and then I'm going to do edit, paste in place. So it's in the same spot. Only now I would like to transform it. Okay? So I'm going to do transform envelope, and I'm going to just push down here and push down here and push down here, push down here. Okay. Now, I'm going to go back to the beginning. I'm going to right click on this dot, and I'm going to create a shape tween. So now in my little story, look what happens to my building. It looks almost like the Wicked Witch of the West. It got melted. But now let's unhide and unlock this top. Okay, now let's see what it looks like. Now it looks like it exploded. But now we got to decide how it exploded. So for that, I think I need to add another layer, okay? So it could explode because somebody's knocking it down. Maybe I want to draw a wrecking ball. I don't know. Let's decide. So I'm going to add a new layer to the top, okay? It's got to be on the top. I'm going to lock the other two layers so I don't mess with them. And I'm going to start at the beginning. And I've decided that I want to create a circle, okay? I want it to be black, and I'm going to hold the shift key so that it's a perfect circle, and the option key so it appears exactly in the middle of where I start. There it is, okay? And now I need like a little chain, okay? So now I'm going to use my oval tool, and I'll make like a little chain. Here's my little wrecking ball. I'm going to grab this. I'm going to select the whole thing. And now I'm going to do Modify, Combine Objects, Union. And now I'm going to do Create Motion Tween. Okay? So what I want to happen is in the beginning, I'm going to use my free transform tool and rotate it. So it's like this, right? going to rotate it, and I'm going to now go to the end, and I think I want it to hit the building at about this point. So now I'm going to rotate it this way, and it's not quite big enough, so I need to enlarge it. Okay, and now I'm going to go to here, and I'm going to make it get smaller, and I'm going to rotate it up like that. Okay, so let's see how my story looks now. Let me move it up here and go like that. All right, so let's see how the story looks now. So I'm thinking if I go back to the beginning that this needs to be bigger. So if I hold the shift key, I can make it bigger without it getting distorted. Okay? Now let's see what it looks like. So it's nice if you plan ahead, but if you plan like it's outdoors, I need to go to the bottom layer, okay? And I need to add a sky. The reason why I couldn't add a sky before, let me just pull this open. The reason why I couldn't add a sky before is it wouldn't take the whole 5 seconds. But now that my video is 5 seconds, if I go here and I get my blue for my sky, that'll take up the whole 5 seconds. Before, if I started with the sky, at that point my video was only 1/12 of 1 second, and the sky would have only appeared in the first frame. So now that it's 10 seconds, what'll happen is I can now go to my shape tool, get a rectangle, go like that, and that rectangle will appear for the whole 5 seconds. So guys, excuse me, don't talk please. So if you guys go to control and then test, guys, shh, and then I go to here, if you just go like that, okay, that's what my animation will look like. It's just repeating over and over again. Control, test. So guys, if you X this out, it'll take you back here. If you go to window, your timeline will appear, and it's now an output. You can click back on timeline to get back. So you can test your video to see how it will look after you export it. When you're done, you do File, Save As. You're going to call it Shape Tween Story. Okay? Look where it's saving to, and then you have to, so I'm going to replace yesterday's, and then you do File, Export, Export Video/Media. It has to be in this format, H.264, and look where it's going. Mine is going to save to my Documents folder, okay? And it's going to be called shapetweenstory.mp4. So you export it, it goes into the media encoder. The media encoder will transform it into a video, and then you have it. So if I look in my Documents folder, you'll see it right there, and there's my video, okay? And it's about 5 seconds long. You can make yours 5 seconds or 10 seconds long, depending on what your story is. You may not need it to be longer than that, okay? So those are the